Hello everyone, we are at the Headz Are Rollin' drum and bass party in Canberra with the two men who basically made it happen. Guys, can you please introduce yourselves for the audience who don't know you?
I'm Tidy, aka Heath. That's my DJ name, Tidy.
And Samwise, aka Sam.
Guys, what made you make this party happening? What was the motivation? What was the reasoning for inviting the artists that are on the lineup? What was it all about?
Someone's got to do it first and foremost, right? So there's a bit of a thirst for drum and bass here in Canberra. But I have to give full credit to Samwise over here for making this one happen with regards to bringing SAL, their headliner.
Yeah, cheers, man. Yeah, absolutely. I think, Canberra drum and bass, been doing it for a number of years now, and we just had a year off because of COVID. So as soon as we saw an opportunity, pretty much jumped on it, yeah.
Guys, you are both DJs and producers. Please tell me more about your music. I know you're into drum and bass mostly. What particular subgenres of drum and bass are you? I want to get into nuts and bolts.
Yeah, sure. Well, essentially, Sam and I got together through our love of drum and bass, particularly through vinyl drum and bass. Like, we just love that whole medium. So we got together, and Sam is also a proficient trumpet player. So essentially, I started playing some drum and bass at his house after we first met, and that was the catalyst for creating something new, doing a set of vinyl drum and bass alongside the horn with brass instruments. So that really created something fresh and new, and a lot of people seem to like that.
Sam, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's good fun. Like, I think it adds another layer to the music. Definitely playing horn over the top through effects and through things, you can really trip people out, which is, it's pretty good fun. And yeah, absolutely. Like, I think, we've been playing together 3 years now or so.
It's getting on now. It's 2017, so yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I think our first set was at Dragon Dreaming 2017. That was a hell of a lot of fun. We sort of hit the stage there and absolutely pumped it. It's still one of my favourite recordings to listen back to because it was, something that was fresh and interesting. Heatho put a lot of effort into, crafting an amazing set. And it created plenty of space to be able to then express via the horn. It's fantastic, really.
Yeah. So since then, we've also started a radio show on 2XX FM, which is a Canberra radio station, 98.3. We've been able to sort of hone our craft, keep our mixing tight while doing that show, even through the whole COVID situation and the lockdown. Having radio, it's still a vital source of information for the public, so we've been able to continue putting out our mixes through there, which has been awesome.
Can you tell me again about your radio show? What station, how people can listen to it, where they can find it?
Yeah, so it's 9 o'clock every Saturday night on 2XX 98.3. Essentially, we just banter and have about a 20-minute mix, have a bit more banter, and then another 20-minute mix. Yeah, it's pretty good fun.
We get some guests on, often try and just get some Canberra locals, like the guys who play here tonight, just to come in and also have a little chat about what they're up to and do their thing,
That's very cool, guys. Appreciate what you're doing. You said that you've been working together for about 3 years. What about individually? How long have you been making music, DJing, performing? Sam, you first.
Yeah, so I think my first DJ gig was in about '98, so it's been 23 years now. Yeah, used to play a bunch of clubs here in Canberra. Back then it was sort of more the big beat and breaks and sort of housey styles, as well as disco and funk. And then, obviously the entire time I was collecting drum and bass, because it's always been it was the first thing that actually turned me on to electronic music. So there was some of the Rebirth of Cool series came out, which had sort of Alex Reese and LTJ Bukem and other sort of, it was called Intelligent Drum and Bass. I was a jazz musician, so I was studying jazz music at the School of Music here, doing my Bachelor of Music. And it was essentially the thing that, really got me hooked on electronic beats, because there wasn't a lot of crossover at that point. Jazz was very straight ahead. There were a few artists, probably 3 or 4 internationally, who were sort of mixing the genres with some electronic stuff, as well as sort of instrumentation. But a lot of the jazz that was edging towards electronic was pretty cheesy. Like it was electronic kind of elevator music. So it was something that never really resonated with me. But yeah, once I started, hooking up with some producer mates and making beats and playing my horn and stuff back then, it was, something that really floated my boat.
Sounds great. Taiji, what about you?
Yeah, I sort of got into music when I was 18, but it was mostly based around the fact that I went to my first drum and bass party here in Canberra, and True Jungle Soldiers were putting on the jungle at the time, and I was hooked. And I was like, I've got to be part of this scene. And then over time, it all fell away, and I just found myself being in a position where someone had to keep the torch going. So I kept putting on these events, and there was a call for it. People wanted it. The DJs wanted to play, so. Yeah, just kept DJing, kept putting on events, and just kept it all rolling.
Guys, this is great. But you already answered partly the question that I'm going to ask now. But what other producers inspired you to be DJs, to just to make music and to put on these parties?
Well, it has to be like going to all these True Jungle Soldier events. We had the TJS crew that kept throwing on international events, right? So we had the big names like TB, for example, Calix, massive names, Break, Fierce, all these huge names from Bristol and London and across the Europe and also New Zealand as well. And so of course they were super inspiring when you've got these people who can really can DJ drum, bass, and jungle in such a way that it really showed the way.
Sam, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, some of the early drum and bass gigs I went to back in the late '90s, like Kenny Ken, Aphrodite toured a number of times, saw Mickey Finn, saw some of those guys were coming out doing Canberra sets. It was pretty amazing. I wasn't part of any of the drum and bass crew then, but I was attending with mates and just having a grand old time. So once I went on a bit of a hiatus for it would have been a good 12 years or so, shacked up with the missus and stopped playing out. And then that relationship broke up, and found Heatho, and we've been kicking it ever since.
And I have to give props to everyone. We had the TJS crew, and the Headz rolling crew was started not just with me, but with also Center Spike, and had a lot of push from guys like Scully as well here, who you interviewed earlier. They were a big part of it. It's a big community thing. It's not just one person. It's always the whole group really pushing it through. And it's been great having Sam come along, and he's been such a big energy for this as well. He's got this energy now, and we've really got a lot of momentum, and everyone really appreciates it.
Guys, what about your music, your productions, collaborative productions? What's happening in that scene?
It's work in progress.
We've done a bit, but I think Heatho had a release last year on Late Night Music, which was really good. But yeah, like we've just got to hit the studio. Basically, we're kind of a little bit lazy and throwing parties and having a good time.
Well, I think me and everyone else here love you doing that, but I think we all also want to hear the next sound from you guys. What can we expect?
Yeah, everything's in place for it. So there's no doubt that once we actually get our heads together and do it, like there's everything's in place. So it won't be long, and yeah, you can guarantee that once it comes out, it'll be like just from us. You know, we're not trying to like outdo anyone or try and be like someone else. We'll do something organic, and it'll be true to the Tidy and Samwise sound. You know.
Yeah, I think we do have a fairly unique kind of sound that we push on the platters and on the horn, and it's something that we've both produced tunes in the past, but yeah, we don't have a release together, and it's something that we're aspiring to.
I'm looking forward to that, guys. I think the last question for tonight is who is the best producer or DJ in the lineup tonight?
Well, it'd have to be SAL, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's SAL, no doubt. That's why we booked him.
You've heard him. It's SAL. Guys, thank you very much for what you're doing, for your passion, for the music, for everything, for letting me do this. Guys, any final words?
Hey, big up Canberra drum and bass.
Yeah, big ups Canberra drum and bass. Big ups all of the people who's been pushing the sound internationally. Big ups Calibre.
Heads are rolling. Drum and bass party, Canberra, 2021. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. Cheers.
Thank you for having me. Cheers.